Speaking of the worst things on the internet, I wasn't going to show this, but I changed my mind since we're talking about the worst things on the internet. Can you play clip one? We're all going to react to this.
Just lost the war. So we are not negotiating from a position of
It's not
strength. Sorry. I'm not taking Russia's side. I'm on America's side. This is terrible for us. We've exposed how weak we are. We couldn't beat Russia, which many members of the U.S. Senate assured me was, quote, a gas station with...
That was McCain's line.
What a fucking idiot that guy was. What an idiot he was. I knew him and I liked him, but he was like an idiot. A gas station with nuclear weapons. Really?
So sorry with the language. So I just wanted to show you that there are worse things that can be said and people are discussing on the internet. And I also want to say, I'm going to put one more question out to you guys. Tucker Carlson wrote some of the most glowing profiles of my dad that exist ever. He worshipped him in the year like 2000, I think around 2008 too. Obviously times have changed egregiously since then. This isn't about me or my family, but why is it that people like Tucker Carlson need to virtue signal like that about certain people that like they're idiots, despite the fact that, my dad's been dead for 7.5 years. Like, I just don't understand this anger and this meanness that has overcome so much of our political cycles. I'm certainly, guilty of popping off from different times, but I like to consider myself a measured person. I certainly wouldn't say anything like that about anyone. Do you think that we're like too far gone? I think this is part of the reason why we're so divided and so many people are opting out of politics right now.
There's a small percentage of people who operate in this space that can't get on TV, and they only get on TV when they say crazy stuff. So they're incentivized to continue to say crazy stuff because that's how they get attention. And I think, unfortunately, that exists on both sides of the aisle. We used to talk about it when I was in Congress. I worked for a long time in the Texas delegation, and we'd always joke that, like, I've got my crazy on the right and you've got your crazy on the left, and they kind of balance each other out, and we just have to let them do their thing and move on with our life trying to actually govern. And we see that on social media, too. Like, the craziest people get a spotlight, and that's how they get attention.
Anything you want to add, Billy?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I like to think that people are getting at least a little desensitized to, or they're tiring of it. Desensitized is not the right word. I mean, we are definitely desensitized to it. But like, for instance, when you think back to like cable news in the 90s and early 2000s, when Ann Coulter would go on and just be really vicious, and
thank you, Ray. Sorry, they just popped him off. Thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Billy.
Well, and it was just so novel then. People were just so shocked. That basically you would go on TV and say things like that were just like so cruel. But now it is almost so ubiquitous that I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of people are tuning out. Like a lot of people around our general age, I mean, you talk to them, no one watches cable TV. The numbers are so abysmal. And I think people, millennials and younger are just kind of like, unsubscribe.
Also, there's
so shout out to Chris Cuomo for saying jack shit and just sitting there, spineless as ever, my friend.
Douche.
Spineless, I know, spineless as ever.
I also think it's like we're over it because we get it all the time from just like random people in the mix. Like, I don't look at my Twitter replies because it's full of people calling me fat and like being mean and like saying like they're everywhere.
It's true. And it's just a part of life. I think the thing I worry about is I just don't want us to get so desensitized. And there's nothing I can do about it other than like how we all conduct ourselves. But it's just everything is getting so much meaner.